over a brief demonstration of the multiple listing service, otherwise known as Paragon. Every agent in the upstate, basically, other than Western Upstate Association of Realtors, uses Paragon. On Western Upstate, they use Matrix, so this is not going to be a demonstration for Matrix, but this is definitely a demonstration, a real quick overview of some things that help you get started. You can come back to this video and watch to find out exactly how to do, real quick searches, a few things. So let's get started. So basically, when you log in, I'm not going to take you through the login process. When you log in, it's going to bring you to this. This is called your dashboard. And just a few things on the dashboard. You notice there's a lot of white space in here. I'm not a big user of the MLS area map, although for this video, I will show you what this actually does. If you click on the MLS area map, you can see the MLS areas there. When you click on it, it will open up. It's a little slow. That's one of the reasons why I don't use it very much. And if you needed to look up a street to find out what MLS area that it's in, you can simply do a find street, do Pruitt Drive. Looks like Pruitt Drive is located in area 41. I know it's in Greenville County. Obviously, that's a street that I know of personally. So I do know it's in 29607 in Greenville County. It's in MLS area 41. You can zoom in on this if you wanted to get real specific of where things are, where the boundaries are. You can do that just by using these little hands here, and you can move it around just by using this with one hand here too. So again, I don't really use this a whole lot, but this can help you with finding out where streets are and what areas that they're in. As far as any announcements over here, you'll have announcements and message center. The quick search is really good. So for example, if you are on floor duty and somebody calls and you need to do a real quick search for a property within the MLS, you can type in the street address here. Let's see, 200, and we'll just use Pruitt again. Real quickly, do not put like drive or roads in this box here. If you're going to put drive, you need to put it in this box here because that's the way the MLS is set up. These street types are all separated out. But as you can see, it already found this property here just by doing that real quick. So you can also search by MLS number. You can do a real quick search by price, status, type. For example, if you hit these little hourglass things here, it'll show you, okay, I'm looking for mobile homes only, or I'm looking for single family. Okay, so that's a good, real quick way to search. You can also search by office. If you search here, hit the search button, it will bring up the property within MLS. Now, what you're looking at is what's known as the all fields detail. The all fields detail is broken down into several parts here. Real quickly, the main portions of the property, your bedroom count, your bathroom count, your garage, your price, obviously address, and your subdivision is all located right here. If you click on this photo, it'll bring up the photo center and you can click through the photos. And then your directions. These little buttons here, if you get used to those, they can be real quick helps for you as far as bring it to your associated docs, the property history, a little quick view, community reports, the map, RPR to find out what this house would be worth on RPR, the super key box settings report, build facts report. Matter of fact, I've never even used that. CRS data, some comparables to find out of what's comparable to this particular property. CRS data demographics, and CRS map of the property, and CRS property report. These are all real quick go-tos, but also these things can also be found here in the report section over here. Now mine's going to look a little different. I've actually set up my favorites to have the things that I use mostly, but where these came from initially, if yours has nothing in them, where these came from initially is these here, and what you can do is you can drag and drop there, and so that just went into my favorites. I just added community reports to favorites. So most of the time I don't even use these because I've got everything set up. If I wanted to go to the property history report, for example, it'll pull up the property history report. If I want to go to CRS data report, it'll pull that up as well. Okay, so there's a lot of little quick things. Associated docs, there you go. To look for the seller's disclosure, that's where those are located. Now, let me go back home. So that's a real quick way to find a property. Now, over here on the left, you got your showing time buttons. Once you set up your showing time account, you'll be able to submit feedback requests and also get find listing instructions and showing instructions. This market monitor here is set up for you. If I click on my info, I don't have any listings right now. Everything's going to be zeros for me since I don't do listings or buyers. But I can just check the market out, see how many new properties are on the market, which one came back on the market, which one's expired. If I was going to start working expires, which ones had price changes, which one hit the hot list, basically meaning there was the listing agent took some sort of action to put the property on the hot list, maybe again a price reduction, a comment, or they've added something to it, they've taken something away, what's on the hot list, how many properties sold within the past day, how many are pending, and how many open houses are coming up. I can also check my office. Now, I'm assigned, in my main MLS, I'm assigned to the Simpsonville office, even though I have 3, but my main office is Simpsonville. So all these are going to be the information on the Simpsonville office. Now, if I want to look at the entire Berkshire Hathaway City and Joiner firm, I can click here, and I can see all of our new listings, how many listings we currently have, how many are on the hot list, how many sold within the past day, how many pending sales that we have, obviously going today, and then open houses. Now, today's Friday, so if I wanted to look at open houses in the next 3 days, basically being Sunday, I can look at that and see, I just went up 6 open houses within the firm. So if I'm a newer agent and I want to find out who's having open houses, to check with the agent to find out if I'm able to do an open house for the listing agent, this is a great, real quick way to start off to find out who has the open houses. I don't really use this very much, but if I was having the collab center with clients that that I put actually in here, contacts in here, to be able to search for, have automatic property searches for them, you would see their activity here. And here's the calendar here, which I have never used actually, but I'm sure there's a little help section here that would tell us all about this. Speaking of the help section, if you run into a problem and need to know where to find something, if you go up here to help, it'll bring you to the Paragon Help Center, Paragon Connect, and you could search for things. You can find out how to work with the Collab Center, how to work with contacts, what you need to do with listings, how to do a CMA, how to work the CMA portion. And so this is all sorts of a help center here, some training videos on it. So this is a great way to learn as well. Going back. So let's say that this you wanted to do a search for multiple houses and not just one house. So the next little button here is the search button. So let's take you through this real quick. So if you click on it, if I want to search for residential properties, this right here can look intimidating, but it's actually not. If I want to look for active properties, you can always use these little hourglass or magnifying glass things here. It's going to bring open the little drop-down box. I don't want to search for contingency properties. I only want to search for actives. And if I know the MLS area that I want to search for, you can do that. Like, for example, in an area 40, I just clicked on type. So the type of property that I'm looking for, I only want to search for single-family homes. I don't want to pull up condominiums or mobile homes or modulars or anything like that. You can make it specific to that. If I want to search area again, 41, I can look through here, click on area 41 and see what properties are for sale in area 41. Area 41 is basically Simpsonville and Malden and Fountain Inn, some of those areas too. A little bit of lower South Greenville County. Or if I wanted to search a specific subdivision, for example, my previous subdivision that I used to live in, Bonnie Bray. The interesting thing here, and I did that on purpose because there's actually 2 subdivisions within the Bonnie Bray subdivision. The first portion, the front side of Bonnie Bray, is called Woods at Bonnie Bray. And then the back side when D.R. Horton was building that subdivision, the woods at Bonnie Brae were more the starter homes. The links side was actually more on the golf course, and that had more of the upgrades. So if I wanted to search both of those, I'd choose links side at Bonnie Brae, and I would go back and I would choose the woods at Bonnie Brae. I want to search that entire subdivision. And what this tells me automatically right here, there's only 2 active properties within the Bonnie Brae subdivision right now. If I wanted to see those, if you knew somebody absolutely wanted to be in that subdivision, that's a real quick way to pull it up. It tells you the agent name, the listing agent, tells you your price, what street they're on, how many days on market. So if you wanted to go in here and find out, hey, that's a 99 days on the market, that's pretty significant for even this particular time frame. You may want to just look at that and find out, well, you know, why do you think that it's been on the market for this long? You can definitely look at the pictures, look and see what their remarks are. But I'm going to go right over here. I'm going to go to property history and see if they've had any price reductions on the property since it's been listed. And again, they started off at $223,500. They took it temporarily off the market August 24th. And they put it right back on the market a day later, back to active at the same price. There's been no price reductions on here. 100 days on the market. You know, obviously this is not our agent, but you know, if I was the agent, I'd probably be talking to my sellers to possibly do a price reduction. But anyway, that's not the purpose of this video. So again, we can go back to the criteria here. Maybe add some different criteria. Let's say we wanted to do a mapping search. For example, someone wanted to be by the Michelin down here in southern Greenville County. If I want to do a mapping search, I can click on this little map. It's going to pull this up. Now, this red X is actually your primary your primary office. So what we'll do, let's say this was an address that they wanted to live around, that was their workplace or whatever. That little Michelin is right around in here. Not little Michelin, I shouldn't say that. That's a huge plant. But what it can do is, man, this is not going to cooperate today. MLS seems to be running really weird. But let's do this. Let's do let's say this was an address that they wanted to live around, or this was their current address. It's going to find that address, and again, hopefully we can zoom in, and that number 1 there is 200 Pruitt Drive. So what we can do here is we can say, okay, around 200 Pruitt Drive, I like this general area, so I just want to be maybe a mile radius around this particular property. So what it does is it zooms out. That's a mile radius around 200 Pruitt Drive, and now I've just I've limited my number of houses, active properties for sale. So if I do search, it's going to give me, 6 houses within a mile radius of 200 Pruitt Drive. And it's going to pull everything. It's Eastwood Homes. Here's one listed by Century 21. Here's one of ours by Tim Kagi. So that's a real quick way to do a mapping search if somebody wants to be around a certain particular area or a certain particular address, like their work or whatever the case may be. So we did that. We did mapping search. We did area. If you just wanted to search by minimum bathrooms, or minimum bedrooms and bathrooms, you can do that. So now, mind you, that's a large number, 1,684. But now we know, okay, we know we need at least a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but excuse me, we don't want to go below $200,000. And we don't want to go above $225,000. Let's say, now see, we just limited that amount of property. Now, we've got to do some more digging here. Okay, so so if you ask your person, do you know about roughly the size house that you want? And most people say, between, I don't know, I shouldn't say most people. Let's say these people know what roughly around a 2,000 square foot house looks like. You can pull up that little magnifying glass there, and you can do a few of these checks here and see, you don't want too big of a house, but don't want too small of a house. And so you can just limit the houses that you're looking at here. This is a big one. Let's see how many 1-stories there are. Remember, we're not looking in any specific area. This is just the MLS as a whole. But let's see how many 1-story houses or 1.5-story houses there are. A 1.5 being like has a room over the garage, like a bonus room. So most of those other houses were 2-story, and now we have 1 and 1.5 stories on houses. Now we dropped that from 133 down to 8. So this is pretty manageable. But let's do this. You've got somebody saying, well, I can't buy a house without a garage. So it says parking type, and you can go attached garage, and that just dropped it again to 4. Garage capacity, I need a 2-car garage. Okay, so all those are 2-car garages. But I don't want a house that's over more than 20 years old. Okay, we could search all of those, and let's see what comes up. So that just dropped it. Now we've limited our search down to one property that matches this people's criteria or client's criteria. And hey, wow, that's pretty great. It brought up one of our agents from the Greer office. So we look at that. Let me go, and there's the house that matches your buyer's criteria pretty easily and pretty quickly. Let's go back to criteria here. Let's say, for example, size didn't matter. Now somebody says, I want granite countertops. If you go down to secondary criteria, that's going to be found in the features section. Or, for example, they want at least a half an acre. A lot of people moving in to Greenville County, especially from other parts of the country, want at least a half an acre. And so that's how you would do that. It dropped it from, 37 properties down to 12. So it dropped it 25 properties, half an acre. But they want granite countertops. Obviously, you could see there, you could put in the type of the elementary school. You could search by schools. You could search by zip code. But it must have. So this is where you can get really, really fancy with your searches. And let's see. So the exterior finish, if they wanted a brick house or vinyl siding, or if they wanted a mixture of both, or hardy board siding, concrete plank, you can really, really get specific about here. If they want to live on a lake, if they want mountain views. But this person just wants, oh, by the way, they want it to be on a slab. So it must have a slab, and they want granite countertops. So let's see if we can find that here. I believe that's interior features. Granite countertops right there, must have. So if we save that, and there's 8 of them that actually have slab and granite countertops with a half an acre. So let's actually look for those. So that's how really detailed you can get. There's all sorts of things that you can do with this. You can actually search member remarks or word search. I don't really use that a whole lot, but if you're looking for something specific like the word fixer-upper, you could search the entire MLS just by using a word search or something in the remarks that has the word fixer-upper. You can also search by date range, what's been listed in the past 7 days, 90 days, if you want to get specific on that too. Now, that's just a real basic overview. Again, that's going through the search process. To enter listings, you would click here. That's another video all on its own. I would highly encourage you to hit the help files here. But for these purposes, this is a real quick way to really kind of learn how to use some of the main features of MLS to get you started. CMA is another feature. Again, use the help. Contacts, if you're ever going to set up for your contact collab and keep properties going to your contacts, this is where you would add those. I've never really used the financials portion of it. I've always had my own tools. Tax map or tax information, you can go directly to CRS and you can go to RPR. You can do a tax search here. Membership, I find myself using this a lot. For example, if I wanted to look up an agent, for example, so I could look an agent up by their last name, and if I knew the last name was Thrift, and I did a search here, I can see that I'm in Spartanburg because I'll show you at Spartanburg here in just a second, but it's showing me as a designated realtor over the Simpsonville office, and then she's my wife over at the Simpsonville office as well. But it shows all my information here. I click on that. It's going to give you a hyperlink. It's going to tell you my cell phone. Oh, look at that. My home phone number is actually wrong. I need to update that with with MLS. So I'm glad I did this video. But it tells me what the office is, and again the email address if you needed to get information on that person. Look at that. It also has the license number of the agent as well, in case you needed the license number. So resources. If you click on resources, if I needed to go into Spartanburg MLS, I would click on resources and directly go to Spartanburg MLS. It is a one-click login, so you don't need to have a separate email. Correction, you don't need to have a separate login for Spartanburg MLS once you become a member, because we have reciprocity with them. Now, you cannot list properties in Spartanburg unless you are a member. This is strictly for searching. So hopefully that gives you a good, real basic understanding of the MLS and how to work it. And if you have any questions, by all means, reach out to your broker, reach out to me. We'll be more than happy to help you in any way we possibly can. Hope that helps you. Have a wonderful day.